Let's get started. Let's do this. This is, oh man, we're pretty light on attendance today too. The snow's scaring people away. It's not that much snow. This is Buffalo.
Oh, it's a lot of snow.
It's not though. It sucks, but don't get me wrong. But it's not a hazard. It's no. We had the blizzard recently. That ice storm was ridiculous. This isn't comparable to those things. But apparently it's enough to have like half attendance. I wish I could just stay home too, but it doesn't really work. Anyway, we have lecture today, which is not 116 right now. I don't need this thing. This doesn't work today. So today is one of my favorite lectures of the semester. As long as my brain isn't too much mush, we're going to get some good stuff going in here. What I do need from you to start off with is we're going to break at least one website. We're going to mess with it and just do whatever we want with it. I need to know what website we're going to break. So if you... You're a TA, you don't get a vote. I don't want to do AutoLab because we did it last semester. I'll do it again if there's demand, but... Oh, yeah. Oh, we should mess with Ethan. Let's mess with Ethan and Carl.
Ethan's not going to be happy. He's home right now.
But if anybody has I'll default to AutoLab, but so it won't actually break the back end of the site. It won't break the server. We'll just break the front end for us. So 220 will be fine still, even if we do break it. Though I wish I could mess with them. But by default, I'll choose that unless we get another suggestion here. I don't want to do it just because I did it last semester. I mean, I guess. But I did it last semester, so it's kind of unfair because I know exactly what I'll end up breaking, what I'll end up doing. Something that's more of a challenge, something I haven't seen. But I've broken 312 many times. We can do the UB set. There's one. Surprisingly, that hasn't come up yet. Oh, perfect. All right, so buffalo.edu. Let's break this thing. Oh, I hate this site. So we're talking about browser extensions today. That's the overall thing. But we got to do quite a bit of stuff to build up to that. So let's do it. So what I want to do is break this site. Now, when I say break in this context, we're not messing with the server side, as I mentioned a little bit ago. We could try that maybe someday. I don't know. But we're not going to mess with the server-side code. We're going to break the page for ourselves. So we're going to break the front end of the page. And remember when I said like 100 different times, never trust your users? This lecture should emphasize, put an exclamation point on why we should never trust our users. So let's see what users can do, even if you're a legitimate user. First, I'm going to go to Inspect Element. And I want to change whatever I want to change on this front end. So to do that, we want to look at the front end code. A lot of you, I'm sure, have used, you right click and you go to page source, and it'll give you all the source code for the front end. It'll give you all the HTML. We want to do it a little bit differently this time. We want to use this, the source right here in our browser tools. We're going to use this source and modify the HTML in any way we want. So we can go through this HTML. One of the most convenient ways to do it is click this button and go wherever you want to edit something. Click on it. It'll take you right to that HTML of that element. You can just straight up edit it. The easiest thing to do is just hit delete. Oh, come on. You're messing up my timing. There we go. Easiest thing is just hit delete. There's something on a web page you don't like, just delete it. It's gone. Let's see what more interesting thing we can do here. Find a program. Search. Give money. Why? Why is that so loud? There's not much to do on this site. It's mostly a poster site. We could do YouTube. I gotta go to oops, my calculator. UB Learns too. Oops. I have to be pretty careful if I go to UB Learns. Do I? Wait, do I? I don't have anything on UB Learns, do I? Ah, success. The only thing I have on here that I have to be careful of is rosters. But even if I show you the 312 roster, I don't think that's FERPA protected anyway because you're in the class. You've been in classes where you've seen class rosters before. So I guess I just have to be careful of clicking 116 stuff. So let's, oh, my person number. Oh, well. What can I do here? Let's go to the 312 site. Oh, this interface is terrible. I guess that's what we can fix. What do we want to change? Maybe I should be asking that instead of just poking around and trying to find it. We have the videos. Is there anything we can do here? Let's go to Wednesday's video. Let's see if there's something we can settings. We'll find something in here. Here's a good one. So we got this isn't the best example, but so we have a drop down right here, which it's a little too small to see, to change the frame rate of the video. It's set to 1080p. Sounds like a good resolution. Let's see if we change this to something else. We can change the resolution to 720p. Does it just change it? There's no like click or anything. And then this should be lower quality, I would assume. It's going to be subject to the CORS policy. And oh my. Does it say what the... I can never tell the difference. I know a lot of people can't. I can never tell the difference between 720 and 1080. I'm sorry, y'all. But I could never tell. So I don't know if that is actually 720. But let's just change it all the way down. Let's go to... Where was it? Outputs? Maybe I have to close this. Where's the... Oh, apply. It's sitting right there, of course. So cause it to temporarily be unavailable. Shoot, I don't want to do that. Last time I did something, I got that message in Panopto. It took a full day to process the video. It was a pain. So I don't want to mess with that either. I just don't know what we want to break. Anybody have good suggestions? That's why I'm soliciting ideas. I need an idea of what to break about it. Been using this. Garobi.com? Disney? It's not a suggestion? Leader in decision intelligent technology? Blazing fast? It might be. What if we make Google search Bing? I did that in 199 before. I guess I can. Let's, there's always the hardest part of these is just finding something fun to break that I haven't broken before. Lets me dox myself again because I haven't learned my lesson. What? It is? Okay. Let's head over there. Garobi. That's not the site I'm going to. Okay. We have a site. It's something. Free trial is going to make me log in, I'm sure. Dox myself a third time. I just don't know what do we want to break here, though? Yeah. That's where I was going with that. That's what I wanted to try. But I have a feeling once I hit go, it's going to take forever to process the video, and I won't ever get the results during lecture time. But that's exactly where I was going with that. So there were 4 options there, I believe 4. I was going to select one of the options, change the video to see that the quality changed. And then what I want to do when I break something here, what I want to do is change the front end. I can write any code that I want in the HTML. So I was going to add a 5th option of whatever I want, a billion P or something, and then see if that was going to try to upscale the video, and that probably would actually break their server if they did try to upscale it to a billion pixels or a billion P. So that's where I was going to go with that one. Kind of, I don't want Panopto to be able to slow lecture down to a halt. I do Twitter every once in a while. I don't think I'm logged in. I hope not. Sign in Twitter with Google. No. Right? I'm not logged in. Let me go to no, I'll stay here anyway. All right, so let's mess with tweets. It's fun to do this, right? Match of the day. Spring break. See what people are saying about spring break. Oh. Too many words. Why? No. These aren't giving me anything to work with. All right. All right, so let's inspect element. Let's get rid of this first of all. So I can log in or sign up. Really, those are my 2 options. Just let me get rid of this thing. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm literally just hitting the delete key when I do that. And let's mess with Kai here. So we can edit the HTML. I'm just going to double click, and I literally can just type whatever I want here. And I'm going to retype this. Where did the rest of the tweet go? Oh, because he has formatting, I see. It's finally spring break. And work on homework 3 all week. Go to web apps. Oh, I didn't release homework 3 yet. Let's, I don't have a good image here. Let's say, let's go back to this tweet, and we have an image here. And we can change the source of this image. We can make this be whatever we want it to be. Bless you. Do it. It almost did. False. Alt image. Come on, stop popping up. Where's that's the style. This is a lot of what messing with front ends is just pawing through the code and figuring out what the hell it's doing, how it's working. That should do it, but I don't, just the way it's rendering it, it's not going to do it. Let's get rid of the class. There we go. That does it. So now we got this tweet. Oh, come on. I got rid of my image. Well, looks like I can't get all the way there with this one. When I resized the page, it must have reloaded the content. So this is, Ajax and that stuff that we're talking about. It's reloading the content and replacing my changes. So let's do that one more time. It does still have the class change, so this should go right away. Image. Oops, I put that in. No, we can get this. src equals. Let's give ourselves a little more room here. Let's get rid of this top bar. And we have our tweet. So we can change this to be whatever we want. This person's really excited to work on my homework. Yay. And then what we could do, screenshot it and share it with whoever we want to share it with. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but on the other side of this, when you see a screenshot of a tweet, please don't trust it or believe it. This happens all the time online. You always see fake tweets all the time, and you think, oh man, that person must be a Photoshop expert or anything. No, they frickin' clicked this text and typed out whatever they wanted. It looks completely like a legitimate tweet. We can change anything else we want with this. We want to change the likes. This got 4 likes. Maybe it got 4 million. 4 million likes. Maybe it was quote tweeted. Oh my goodness, I can't click the right stuff. 100,000 times. We can change anything we want with this. We can just edit the front end. Anyone can do this on your website. So you can just go to your front end and change whatever they want with whatever they want. Let's get something a little. Oh yeah, we can get verified too. So if I want to change this, we'll get a tweet with all kinds of interaction. Delete, come on. Delete. Oh, I can't get my face there? Can I get my face there? Well, that one's going to be a bit tougher, I guess. Yeah, I can't get my face there. But, oh, shit. Oh. This, expand this. Expand this. To be alerted about new tweets from my account, tap the bell symbol on the profile page. JavaScript is far and away the best programming language. Oh my goodness. I can't do this today. Far and away the best programming language. Installing updates. Oh, freaking great. Lecture ain't dragging on enough as it is. Care what's new. And yeah, I can't believe you tweeted that. Be careful about what you see. Never trust your users. Also, don't trust screenshots. Screenshots of tweets are the worst. It's always crazy stuff. If somebody's going to you should always ask yourself this. Why are you screenshotting a tweet instead of pasting the URL for it? Just give me the URL for the link, and I'll go to the tweet myself. If you see just a screenshot of it, be very wary. It's probably fake, or else why the hell would you take a screenshot of a tweet? Maybe there's a legitimate reason. Maybe some of y'all take screenshots of tweets, and that's the way you like to share tweets. But I don't really see a reason to do that. All right, so Gurobi optimization. Let's break something here. Gurobi optimization. Y'all got a wiki? Give me a rundown of what you are. That's not English, right? That's not my brain just being exhausted, right? That wasn't English. Choose evaluation license, expert team, technical guidance. I always wonder about the software solutions that it's not even clear what they are from their big splash page. I always wonder, why don't you just tell me what you are? Gurobi Optimizer. Let's look at this. World's fastest solver. Oh, it's a solver. I'll try not to be too, they might be a great company and everything. I shouldn't do that. Input complex business challenge as a mathematical model, and our Gurobi Optimizer software will output a detailed action plan. Okay. Mathematical solver. For what? What was it for? Complex business challenge. For business. It's just a jumble of keywords, though, right? Am I going crazy here? What is this place? Business problem solving. McKipsey. All right. So I'm guessing that McKinsey and Company is going to be a competitor to, what are these names? Gurobi Optimizer. So this is probably a competitor. That's what I'm going to assume here. So let's go to Inspect Element, grab something from this page. It's an overlay. That doesn't help me. Let's just get their logo. This is going to be too much for lecture. let's not do that. That's going to be too much. I want to replace the logo with the other company's logo. Let's just delete some stuff. So, what if I don't like this image for whatever reason? I don't like this image, and I just want to delete that whole. Oh, I got rid of that whole block. I want this page to be a lot cleaner than it's initially presented to me. Can we get? Yeah, I want that whole thing. So let's refresh this. Let's get this thing moving so we can talk about web extensions. I think it was this one. ID rev slider, this guy. I want to delete that. Yeah, and that gets rid of that whole first block of the page. Something just cleans it up. I need something to break on this page, so let's get rid of that thing. That's what we want to do. Yeah, Elon deleted that tweet right away. He does believe in that, but he deleted it before the media outlets got to it. Luckily, I got a screenshot of it before he deleted it. How many times have you heard that, seriously? How many times have you heard that line? I got a screenshot before they deleted. They deleted this tweet right away. I never believe that. You should never believe that either. All right, so we deleted something. Suffice to say that we could change anything we want on this page. I just am lacking creativity right now. But we could change whatever we want on this page. So let's load the page up again and do the same thing, except when you're going to a page, if there's something you want to change on the page, you can change whatever you want. Yeah, great. but you're not going to go into the HTML every time you visit a page. If this is a page you visit frequently, you don't want to constantly open up the HTML, go to the element you want to change, make your changes, hit enter, and then close the browser, close the console here, and then go back. You're not going to do that. Maybe you will. I don't know. I shouldn't tell you what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. But let's switch over to JavaScript and write some JavaScript code that's going to get rid of that element for us. So we have the element here. It's all here in our face. And we're going to document dot get element by ID. I'm going to paste that ID that I grabbed from the HTML. And this is going to give me a reference to that element if I do it the right way. Const lm equals. So this gives me the element, and if I want to remove this, there are different ways to remove it. The way I've found, which is kind of gross, I wish I had a better way, but get parent element dot remove. So I'm going to go up to the parent element and then remove this element. So that's JavaScript code that's going to get rid of that element for me. Yay, we did it in JavaScript instead of HTML. Big deal. This still has the same problem. Every time I visit this page, I got to open up the JavaScript console. I got to go in there, get my JavaScript. Yeah, I can cut and paste it, but I still got to open this up, paste my JavaScript, hit enter. It's a little bit time save from the HTML, maybe, but it's still a pain. So what we want to do is a browser extension. That's what we want to do today. So I'm going to get this code in my clipboard just so I don't have to come back here later. I'm going to go to VS Code where I have my extensions that I like to use for lecture. I'm going to paste this just so because I need my clipboard again. I'm going to create a new extension for whatever this site was called. I'm going to rename this folder. Am I crazy? There it is. Groby. I can't remember that. Extension copy. Oh my goodness. I deleted it. Rename Groby extension. It's fine. I'm leaving the typo. All right, so to write an extension, we're going to write the code. So I wanted that first line. We're going to write code that's going to run what an extension is, what a browser extension is JavaScript code that you're going to write that's going to run whenever you load a certain page or certain pages. So I want to write some JavaScript code. I'm going to get that element by ID, and I'm going to remove it, just 2 lines of code, and a log to help me debug if nothing's working. I want to make sure that the extension is at least running. So I like to have some console.log as the first line. And then we're going to add a manifest.json. This is a file in a very specific format, obviously JSON format, but with specific values, key value pairs, that are going to tell the browser when to run this extension. So a few things. First, the manifest version number 2 is the best. Google is unfortunately coming out with manifest version 3, if you've heard about any of that controversy. Manifest version 3 is going to take away a lot of the functionality of browser extensions. Well, actually, let me preface this. So these browser extensions include ad blockers. If you're running an ad blocker, it's probably a browser extension. What the ad blocker does is just runs a whole mess of JavaScript when you load a page, finds things that are ads, and gets rid of them, and blocks calls to sites, to servers that are commonly known as just ad sites. So it blocks all that stuff as a browser extension. Manifest version 3, unfortunately, Google doesn't like that, doesn't like ad blockers, and they are specifically targeting them. They claim that they're not, but that's exactly what they're doing, and limiting the functionality that extensions have to limit what ad blockers can do. So when manifest version 3 is the standard and they don't allow version 2 anymore, it's a thing that's happening soon. It's going to change things a lot. I'm going to just switch to Firefox. The answer, just get away from Chromium. But anyway, let's name this thing. Gurobi extension. I have no creativity today. Version number, this can be whatever you want. This is your version number of your software. So if you're releasing this to users and you want to increment the version number each time you have an update and have a new release, it's up to you to choose those numbers. I'm choosing 0.1 because this isn't an actually released extension. It's just demoing, prototyping, and using it for an example. So I'm going to start with 0 and then 0.1. I don't know, sounds good to me. And then content scripts. This is going to run the script whenever you have a URL that matches this URL, and this can be a regex. So I'm going to do, let's do star.gurobi.com star? It was .com, right? Gurobi.com. So whenever that regex matches, so whenever it's https:// anything.gurobi.com and then anything, I think I can put a slash in here safely. So whenever I'm visiting any subdomain of gurobi.com, I guess I'm not getting Gurobi itself. I think I can do that. Then this is going to run. And this is the big reason why I like that console.log as my first line. I want to make sure if I have some bug with my regex, which I might, I haven't done a star in the middle of this before, to make sure it's running regex the way I want it to. We'll see if the thing's actually running. And then the name of our JavaScript file. So let's rename this Gurobi. So whenever we match this path, I want to run this JavaScript file when the page loads. And you can have multiple of these. You can have a whole list of content scripts for different paths and different JavaScript files. You can have this extension as complex as you want it to be. But right here, I'm feeling good about this one. I'm going to save. I think I have autosave on, but just to make sure. And then when I'm done with my extension, I'm going to go back to my browser. I'm going to go to my extensions, manage extensions, and I'm going to click load unpacked. This will be different for each browser. I'm going to click load unpacked. And honestly, this is one thing that's a huge pain in Firefox. It took me a while to get it uploaded. In Chromium browsers, this is actually really easy. If I can find where that code is. No, really, where is that code? Oh, God. Oh, I remember doing this before. I do this, each time I do this lecture, I'm like, oh, crap, why did I save it there? Okay, Dropbox. My documents. Classes. I'm doxing the hell out of myself now. No. Teaching. 312. Examples. Extensions. Gurobi extension. And you want to select the directory where you have your extension. Every file in that directory is going to be added as an unpacked extension. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you can't do that. So I'll just add my www. Load unpacked. Hopefully it saved my location. Select. I added that extension. Now when I go back to this website, it should, hopefully, automatically remove that for me. So running extension, printed to the screen. I never even saw that splash, that giant splash screen that shows up. It's just completely gone. So that code ran as soon as the page loaded. I don't have to take any extra actions. So if there's any site where there's something you want to modify with it, something you want to change about any of your favorite sites, you can customize the front end as much as you want. And then save that as an extension, write it up in JavaScript, save it as an extension, and then run it every time you open that page. This can be very helpful for a lot of different reasons. One that I like to do is ended up just being similar to what I just did. For Netflix, it has that big splash screen. You open up Netflix, you see this big ad for whatever Netflix is pushing, and you got to scroll down to see the things that you might actually want to watch, unless by chance you want to watch whatever they're pushing. So I have code that's going to look for. Oh, this is what I pasted today because I needed that out of my clipboard. So I'm going to look for anything called volatile billboard animations container A. Is that a typo? Did I break this, or is that actually what it's called? But I'm going to find every element with that class name, which there's only one. Netflix happens to not use IDs on their elements, on their HTML elements. So I have to look for it by class name. I'm going to iterate over any element with that class name, which should only be one, and then do the same thing. Look for the parent node, and then find the parent node, and then remove that child node from it. So then whenever I go to Netflix, I've had this extension installed for years. When I go to Netflix, I forget that even exists until I use somebody else's device and this big splash page comes up and it pisses me off. And I go, man, I'm glad I have that extension installed on my devices. I never see that anymore. I haven't seen that in years on my own devices. And then one weird thing about it is the audio still plays. Even if you remove that element, it'll still play the audio for that ad until you start scrolling down. So I simulate just scrolling down by 10 pixels with this scroll. Now, the image doesn't show up, the video doesn't show up, and it doesn't make any noise. Netflix just shows me the stuff that I'm interested in right away. So that's one site that I wanted to change the behavior of because it was pissing me off every time I went to Netflix. So I wrote 4 lines of code and a print statement. Not even that much to be able to change the way I experience Netflix, which was a big improvement to my life. The Odin, this is something we did, this is our lecture example last semester. We broke Autolab, and then the Odin website, the 250 lecture was right after mine, so we want to break their website, and we did. And then it was on the screen when Oliver walked in, and it was fantastic. We had a lot of fun with that. With that, we changed all the font to Comic Sans, except the titles were Papyrus. And I don't know, it was fun. I just messed with it. And now every time I visit the Odin website, it's all Comic Sans for me. Garobi we just did. Autovote, I don't want to talk about. We broke Autolab last time. We found the academic integrity checkbox and just automatically marked it as true every time, so you don't have to click the AI checkbox. I don't recommend this one. You should have to verify, yes, I did not cheat on this homework every time you submit. But we wrote an extension that just auto-checks it. So every time it finds that element by ID and sets its check variable to true. I forgot what we did in YouTube. Oh, we changed the thumbnail image of every single video. I don't know if I want to open that one. We changed the thumbnail of every video to the same thumbnail. So that was fun too. So you can write these extensions to mess with your sites. Hopefully I made that point. And there's more things you can do. There's one thing I have to show at some point, if we can find one. I was going to show it with the video resolution thing. I think this site just isn't going to do it for us. It's like, because this is just like a poster site. Until we log in, there might be something. Here we go. This will work. So let's do Hartloff at buffalo.edu, Jesse, Hartloff. And country, we're going to have all these options for the country. Well, those options are just HTML. Oh, hopefully. Option, data value. So there's the display value, which doesn't matter. But then there's the data value, which is actually going to be sent to the back end. So I can choose whatever country I want. I don't know, Mars? We'll make the actual name check out too. So let's go to Mars as our country. Oh, they actually do have some. So I'd have to do a little bit more here. They actually do have some JavaScript to check for that. So they're a little bit ahead of me on that one. You want a phone number to create an account? Are you freaking serious? Oh, because I chose, I see. That's how it caught my, because it's running its checks for valid phone numbers. Why are we using this software? Oh my goodness, why do I have to type in so much stuff? I don't want to go down that road so far. Let's go to like anything else. I don't want to go back to Twitter. I'm logged in at Google, so I don't want to go there. What's in the thoughts folder? Oh, you don't want to know. How to... Yeah, let me just open a private. Google search for Google. I don't know how many times I've done that. All right. Sign in, create account, personal use. No one. Oh. Okay. And I want my password to be 1. The internet just doesn't want to work with me today. I'll give this a really quick shot. It's all minified. Oh, Google's annoying sometimes. Well, this example's not going to work either. Man. Oh well. I guess I just have to talk through my point with that one. And this will come up in homework 4 content as well, is some websites will have front-end checks to make sure that you have the right password. So as you're typing your password, it'll say, that password's no good until you type a password that's good enough, and then it'll have like a green bar that shows up, and it's like, hey, you're all good. I was expecting Google to do that, and they probably just changed it during this lecture to screw me over. But I wanted to see that your password is too weak and stuff, because we can bypass all those checks. We can still submit an HTTP request by modifying the front end. If I could get into the JavaScript and find the JavaScript that's returning, that's doing the validation for the passwords, I can replace that JavaScript with return true. So my password is always accepted, and I could set a password of 1. Just 1 character. That could be my password. And Google's going to have some code on the server side that says, whoa, we got a password that's invalid. Somehow you got past our front-end checks. We're not going to allow this. At least they better be. They should be. And you should too. Never trust your front end, never trust your users. When you get a request, even though you have validation on the front end, the validation on the front end is only for user convenience. It's only for the user experience. You still need to validate everything on the back end, on your server, because you can get any request ever on the back end. It doesn't have to be sanitized through your front end, because people can mess with whatever they want to up here. And the one last thing I want to show is playing the music at the right time. I did this with a browser extension. This is one application I do. I have a pretty simple one. It's polling every 2 seconds and checking if music's playing and whether music should or should not be playing. So if we go into PyCharm, I should have this right here. So my manifest, whenever I go to spotify.com/anything, I'm going to run this classtime.js. Classtime, get rid of this. Get rid of this. Classtime, I have the my list of all the times. This is when music should be playing. So if the hour is 12 o'clock from 50 to 60, that music should be playing. And then as soon as it hits 1:00, music's going to stop. Lecture starts. Once it hits 1:48, it starts up again, etc. It's going to start up next at 4:48. And it's going to go until, if any of you hung out for questions after, right at 5:00, the music stops, or plus up to 2 seconds. So those are my checks. I have some code to check the time. I won't go through all the details here. But the last one I want to show you, I'm just set interval like we saw last time. I'm just polling every 2 seconds. If I want this to check every 1 second, I can just change it to 1 second and have it check every second. So I'm just polling, calling check it, which checks if music is playing, which it goes through the HTML. And I'm actually, the best way I found to do this is look at the button and see if it's either the play symbol or the pause symbol on it. And there's a class, there's something in the code that tells me whether that is the play button or not. I forget exactly where it is.